Well, Andrew, you had mentioned you referred to yourself as Canada's greatest gamer.
Very well earned.
I'm not saying I'm not refuting it in any way. I just wanted to make sure I got the phrase right. Why do you feel comfortable calling yourself Canada's greatest gamer?
I think it's a factual statement when you own every Garfield Kart world record on Xbox. I don't think I need to sell it in any way. I think that kind of just explains all of it.
What is Garfield Kart? I'm assuming is it's a kart racer similar to Mario Kart, right?
It is. It is some would say a lesser Mario Kart. Some would say better. I don't know who those are, but it's it's a Mario Kart clone.
And how did you become the Canada? How did you become the Mario? What is it called? Garfield Kart World Tour.
Furious Racing. Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
They made two Jeffs, so it's clearly it's a big deal.
Why did you buy it?
Because I really wanted to be good at a game that nobody was good at. And I went to the Xbox store, and you know how they have, what's the highest selling game? I clicked that, and then I went to the bottom of that, and I saw what was the least selling game. And number 7 was Garfield Kart.
And we should let the listeners know that you are incredibly competitive.
Insanely.
There was one time where I had one better time in a Trials HD map than you, and you spent weeks straight trying to beat it until you finally
spent 100 days beating your run. Every single morning I would do 7 runs of the course, and it took me on the 100th day I finally beat it.
This was a track back in Trials HD days, which is, I assume, the late 2000s when that came out, and I did this crazy run on a track where I almost fell off, and it got to the point where I was at the absolute tipping point, and I just eked under this bit that usually slows you down, but because I almost fell off, I didn't get slowed down, and I ended up at 19th in the world or something on that track. So I was like, no one I know is beating that. And a decade later, you come in and beat my time.
Yeah, I'm so delusional. I took that as a personal attack. I was talking to somebody completely unrelated to you, and we're arguing about who had who was higher on the leaderboards. And so I downloaded it, and you had all the top times on beginner, and I was second. I was like, oh, clearly he tried to beat my times at some point. That asshole, I'm going to get all my times back. And then I found out you just had a game night with your friends, and that's what you guys did. Had nothing to do with trying to beat times. You're just having
me
fun.
And 3 friends just got together. We did something called Trials Tuesday, where we all brought our Xboxes and TVs to the same room and just played Trials. It happened one time. I played the best in my entire life. Also, we all had our TVs, and my TV remote was controlling one of my friend's TVs. I was messing with him the whole time. I kept turning his TV off when he was right near the end. Oh dear.
Oh dear Lord. So that unhealthy level of competition and what's maybe the largest chip on a shoulder I've seen in my almost 45 years, that led you to get hyper competitive in whatever the fuck that game is called. Garfield Furious
Kart Furious Racing.
Yeah.
It wasn't my first. The first thing I have, there's a Ben-Hur Xbox One game. For some reason, they made that movie that nobody wanted, nobody saw, and they made a video game for it that was free. And that has a leaderboard, but it's dead. Shockingly, They continued not to support Ben-Hur, the video game.
Man.
So then I had to go to Garfield Kart. And let me say, it was a very competitive 4 hours to become the greatest Garfield Kart player.
What happened after you broke? Because you texted me and you were like, I now have the world record in every track on this stupid game. And then 10 minutes later, you were like, I have an enemy.
Yes, the problem is it started as a joke, but then when you're on top, you don't want to fall off that. So now I'm incredibly serious about my Garfield Kart racing. As soon as I got all the times, someone else started taking times, and I had a heated rivalry with someone that I'm pretty sure was 7.
Well, this podcast is surely the death sentence of your top times. People are going to go out there, they're going to get the game, they're going to knock you off the top of the pedestal.
If this was back then, Gavin, I would have been nervous. I've gone through 8 rivals. Okay, I'm the top of Lasagna Mountain. I'm not even a little bit worried about it. The game costs $30. So that's why I've been able to hold it partially, because nobody's dumb enough to spend $30 on a Garfield game. I would welcome all challengers, though. You could try. You can try. You're going to waste your time and money, though.
You're going to get dethroned before we film the next one.
I'm going to retire by the time we film the next one. Going out on top.
I think my favorite part of this saga was I don't know if he did the same to you, Gavin, but Andrew just kept sending me screenshots of of DMs of him talking shit to little kids on Xbox Live and getting into these heated rivalries using Garfield puns to insult people.
It's a serious game.
Do you have any of those exchanges to hand?
It's a lot of when you race against me every day is a Monday, stuff like that. Anything Garfield, lasagna mountain. It got heated. I've had 4 or 5 rebels.
I just don't know where this stuff comes from. Like, what made you... You're always doing the weirdest, most interesting stuff that I feel like no one could write.
Agreed, yeah.
Well, what do you mean, like, what started it? What do you mean? Like, why am I shit-talking?
Just with everything that you do. No, just like, what made you want to do that?
I don't know. I woke up. I always had a fascination with, like, there's got to be a Michael Jordan of basket weaving, and we just don't know who that is because nobody cares about basket weaving. I just find it interesting, like, people that are, like, insanely talented at something, but also just nobody cares because nobody is aware of it.
Real fast, I just like to say to the basket weaving community that may or may not be listening to this podcast, Andrew's views do not represent the views of myself or possibly Gavin Free. I have deep respect for basket weavers. I have a deep and profound respect for you. Please do not mobilize the basket weaving lobby against us. I will go to my grave knowing that I'm the best Peggle player in the world, and I will go to my grave knowing I'm the best head bobber of all time. I am the Michael Jordan and meets Maradona of head bobbing.
And we've got Andrew Panton, who's clearly the best Garfield Kart.
Yeah,
undeniably best in the universe.
Has anybody beaten your times yet?
I don't know. Like, there are 2 times that have been. I had this fucking guy DM me. I don't think he knows anything about the podcast or anything. I think he just found that I had Garfield. I think I had world's best Garfield Kart player in my Twitter bio, and he messaged me like, "Hey, I read your bio, and you need to change it because what you're playing is Garfield Kart 2. And I have all the records in Garfield Kart 1, and my times are faster than yours. And I'm sure, maybe you do still have the times. I don't know what you're doing in Garfield Kart 2, but, you'd probably be trash if you played Garfield Kart 1. Fucking psycho. It's a psycho.
Did it make you want to play Garfield Kart 1?
No, fuck him. I looked at his times. He's skipping. He's jumping through walls. He's cheating. It's ridiculous. Fuck that guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, but fuck that guy. Garfield 1. It's a bullshit game. It barely works. He's jumping through walls. Could you imagine if one guy's like, I got the home run record and also I did all the steroids, here's video of it? Like, what do you mean you're bragging about your record? You're cheating.
Yeah, it's Barry Bonds, dude.
Yeah, I know, but Barry Bonds wasn't like, hey, look at all this video of me injecting steroids. He just did the thing. This guy's video is him cheating. 15 tracks. He's like, the only track I don't have, I gave to my brother. Like, fucking, you're jumping through walls. What are you talking about?
You're sounding slightly defensive.
He sounds a little defensive.
I'm not defensive. I'm angry that the guy would reach out. So I doubled down and I said I'm the best Garfield Kart player in the fucking galaxy. I didn't respond. I just changed my bio to be wider for how great I am.
Look, if you need to take a little hate nap right now, we can wait.
I'd love to. Can we do this in like an hour? Yeah, can we come back in an hour? That'd be great. Just let me take down my fucking pillow fort so I can have a nice nap.
I'm reading your bio now. Undisputed best Garfield Kart player in the galaxy.
Yeah, I changed it because it's like, fuck that guy. I didn't want to respond.
Oh, you've got face in your bio.
I do. Well, why wouldn't I?
That's a pretty good facing there, Andrew.
Yeah. No, it's not the only one I did this week either. I really, this is a good face week for myself. I made some other errors. Jeff, I don't know if you talked to Gavin about this, but Jeff is full in the Garfield game now. He came from my throne. Jeff,
are you serious?
Has entered my turf. He's come to my corner.
I got some things to say about Garfield. Fuck Garfield. Fuck Garfield. Fuck that game. That game's a piece of shit. That is not a kid's game. That is a fucking evil, brutal piece of shit game. The rubber banding in that game is ridiculous. And that game fucking cheats. And the pizza cup can suck my pizza cock. I hate it. It fucking cheats every fucking time. And to get the Gavin, here's the fucking problem with the game, right? You could do time trials on every fucking lap. That's fine. Or on every course. That's fine. There's like 16 courses, I think. Or 12? 16? Whatever. But you can like bullshit level your car and your character up. It's basically like this car goes fast but has shitty steering. This car has good brakes but shitty speed, right? But there is this character is a douchebag, and this character but they all have it all evens out. But then they offer these spoilers that you can unlock, and the spoilers do give a little bit of a boost, like above the normal. And you can't win, you can't set any world records without those fucking spoilers. I'll tell you that right now. However, to get a spoiler, you have to come in, you have to get gold in a cup, a specific cup for the one I want, the pizza cup. Now, it's not just coming in gold. Gold is like winning the circuit, right? You know, it's 4 races, you come out on top over the course of 4 races. No, the unspoken rule is you have to come in first on every race, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row to unlock this fucking spoiler, and that is bullshit.
It's not that hard.
It is.
It's really easy.
I'm not good at racing games. I'm not good at games.
So you're saying you can't even get the spoiler that would give you a chance to tackle Andrew's times.
That is exactly what I'm saying. I think that I could beat one of Andrew's times if I didn't have to beat the game trying to cheat against me for 4 straight matches. Because it's a kart racer, right, dude? So there's fucking power-ups. There's pillows that will put you to sleep. There are fucking aliens that will abduct your car right at the finish line. It is fucking nonsense.
It's a kart racer for kids. It's fun.
It's not for kids.
It is. It's a great kids game. It's a really well-made game.
That game's like Thunderdome. It's brutal. And I don't like it. I'm not done with it yet. I haven't given up on it completely. We'll see if I get lucky. I try a couple times a day just to see how many races I can get into on the fucking pizza cup before the game cheats and fucking ruins my day.
What course do you struggle on, or are you just kind of all over the place right now?
All over the place, man. Okay. All over the place. I've gotten first on 3 of the 4 courses, but only once in one go through.
Well, I know you, Jeff, and I'd heard you're complaining a lot. You're constant whining about your inability to win in the Pizza Cup.
Yes.
And I didn't struggle with that at all. I had no problem with it. I talked to other people that struggle with it. I thought there have been some updates to this game. Maybe it's harder than it used to be. So I made a new Xbox account to start over. I wanted a fresh start. And because I'm such a good friend, I'm such an honorable guy, as I've been saying this whole time, I named my second account after you, is what I did. And I loaded into that Pizza Cup. I thought, I'm going to start at the 100, the medium difficulty, then go hard. Won the first 3 races, realized I was on hard. I didn't even know it. That's how easy it is. I was on hard the whole time. Beat the Pizza Cup, first try, no problem. Then thought, you know what? Jeff is never going to be able to do this. He doesn't have the skill. He doesn't have the talent. He doesn't have the natural lasagna gene in him like I have. I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to get fake Jeff on this leaderboard. I'm going to get him nice in number 2 so he can feel good about himself, but he's never going to hit the top because it's not in him. I don't need to worry about that. Except then the unexpected happened and I beat my own time by accident. So fake Jeff is currently number 1 on Play Misty for me. I'm number 2.
I did it, baby. I'm the best.
I did that on Saturday. I played all weekend. I can't beat that time. I am stuck in second place because I beat myself as fake Jeff.
I like that you try to create these competitions. Either no one shows up for them because they don't care, or they're literally not good enough. So you play as them, and you beat yourself as them.
Gavin, I guarantee you I could beat him on a time trial. A time trial, it's just racing. It's just you versus the course.
Any track, anywhere, any day.
But to be fair, look at those times.
It's the kart shit that kills you.
He's got like 7 seconds now on the next person.
I know what those times are. I've competed. I understand how much. The closest I came was within like 23 seconds of one of his times. And that's because I can't get the goddamn spoiler.
I don't think that matters. But you did it. Now I'm stuck in second, so I'm playing against myself.
Yay, I did it.
Are you going to go try and get your number 1 time back? Or could you sit there knowing that it was actually you who's number one right now.
No, I can't live with that. I need my name up there and that number one with the gold. So I mean, I'm going to keep at it.
Everyone's looking at Jeff's name now. No one's looking at you anymore.
Yeah, it's a sad sight. Can't have it. Okay, so when we're doing the court case, right, and Jeff and I both came up with our joke pieces of evidence where it was just splices of audio put together to make a singular statement.
Yes, one of us did an excellent job with that.
I think we both did. But when I went to do that, I thought, I'm going to need to source words. This is going to be a lot of work. The more people I can get working on this, the easier it'd be. And it's also just fun to involve the community and stuff. So I tweeted, if you are an Achievement Hunter fan and also have a Discord, let me know. I have a project you could work on. Did not anticipate the response. It was very overwhelming. There were like 300 people requesting invites within the first hour. And I was just inviting people away. I had one friend in there, and they were reporting me the chaos that was happening. And I guess what had happened is two of the people had the same name of Ian, and then they thought it would be funny as a joke if they all called themselves Ian, so it'd be harder for me to address specific people, from my understanding. And at that point, I just thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to communicate to get there's just a chaos. So I just killed the server, and then they made their own server and invited a bunch of people to it, and they became the Ians, and I joined as a joke, and I said, tell me who is the original Ian. He revealed himself, and then I blocked him on Twitter and said, I killed your god, and I left. And I kind of expected it to end there, but they just kept growing. And then I'd see their posts on the subreddit, on the Rooster Teeth subreddit, and it became like a whole thing. So then I joined them, and because there's also a Krampus Discord, and I thought they need to merge somehow. So I came into the Ian Discord, and I declared a Garfield Kart competition. Both sides would have to nominate a champion.
An Ian?
An Ian, yeah. Whoever wins gets to keep their server. Loser has to delete their home. You can merge, obviously. There could be an alliance afterward, but there's no need for two servers. So there was a Garfield Kart battle between the Ians and the Krampuses. That was very fun. That was very fun to observe. All the while this was happening, I just made a third Discord because I thought this is sort of insane. There should just be a face Discord. So I started that, and they've since merged. I had two people, one from each of the Discords come in. They did a wonderful job. The face Discord is way nicer than it should. It is beautiful. They did such a great job. They're incredibly thoughtful people. And so, yeah, they had their tournaments. The Ians lost, but then everybody merged, and the Ians are done.
I love the kind of people that it attracts. Like the face audience it is perfect because they immediately start facing you back by doing the whole Ian thing. It's really like it's magical synergy.
It was very confusing.
So, Andrew, I have a question, because you're not on Instagram then.
No, I'm not. That's correct.
Someone has been sending Instagram posts beating your Garfield times.
No way.
Apparently, and I wish I had it to show it to you, because the last one I saw, but I guess it disappears after 24 hours if it's in your timeline, your story or whatever. It said, I have beaten all of the times, but I left one for Andrew so that he can still have some dignity. But Lasagna Mountain got a lot smaller for him. I own Garfield now. Have you not checked your times lately?
My response to the Garfield thing is good job to that person. It's tough being on top of Lasagna Mountain. If anything, it's a relief. I'm glad I'm no longer there. But I argue that the bullshit of I gave them one time to feel good about themselves, that's the fastest fucking time on the planet. That's why they didn't beat it. It wasn't a pity move.
I feel like you're a little crushed about losing all these Garfield times. Like you were on this for months.
Were you aware of it before this moment?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I didn't figure it'd be possible for you to be ignorant of the fact that so many of your times had been beaten so thoroughly.
Were you hoping, Andrew, that we wouldn't find out and that we wouldn't think you were less impressive than you used to be?
No, in all honesty, I learned this yesterday because I'm not on Instagram, but somebody mentioned it to me and I said, what are you talking about? The throne is still fine. And then they showed me the post. Yeah, good for them. It's stressful being at the top. I was there for almost a year. I still have the fastest time anyone has ever seen. Feel good about that. They beat that, then I'm out of the game. And who knows, maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'm just going to hide in the weeds a little bit. I'm going to do a Gavin and Halo move. I'm just going to wait for a while.
You're trapping Garfield times?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get into the Xbox Hall of Fame at the moment, so I'm a little occupied.
I feel like that was a great podcast. There's no better way to end it than the loss of Andrew's judge hood. There's also one more loss that I'd like to mention, Andrew, is that someone beat your final Garfield time, it seems. It's weird how you didn't
saw
bring that
that.
up.
I didn't know
think,
that.
And that's the one that you were like, no one's ever getting that one.
Yeah, you think there's a reason I fell to breakfast waffles every day? I went to a dark place, Gavin, between the judge stripping my title and losing Garfield. It's been a rough time, but the waffles are bringing me back.
I don't think you should stand for that, Andrew. I think you should bin your waffles. You should get back into Garfield and smash everyone back.
The greatest origin story ever of a guy just throwing his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles waffle maker off his balcony and then playing Garfield.
Take your 70 pounds of waffle mix and dump it in the nearest harbor.
I'm gonna make like a Rocky montage with the 70 pounds of waffle mix.
You should trade it for lasagna. Get back in that game, buddy.
Yeah, I never really liked lasagna. It's probably a thing I shouldn't admit. Never really into it.
It's okay. It's just okay.
It's all right.
Fine food.
I think a good ravioli kicks a lasagna's ass any day of the week. But I'm not gonna kick a lasagna out of bed.
I don't think I've had a ravioli.